Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I am doing the try a chapter tag, but it will be an unhaul edition. So essentially what is going on is that May is my birthday month. I have received quite a lot of books. Later today I'm hoping to film my birthday book haul, and in that book haul there is going to be around 30 books. But the problem is my shelves are really full. So not long ago I did a video called These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months, and that was essentially a list of books that I will be unhauling if I have not yet read them in a 12-month period. Now, as of yet, I have not read any of those books, so whether I'm unhauling them or not, I still don't know. So I was speaking to my friend Codie from Codie's Book Corner about this, and she suggested that I do a try a chapter tag, where I try the first chapter of a bunch of books and decide whether I want to keep them or not. So one or maybe two of these is from that These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video, and the rest are just random ones that I have picked off my shelves. I don't have to unhaul these. If I want to keep them, I can, but hopefully this will help me. It was really hard for me to pick 5 books to share with you today to do this with, because I like to give everything a chance. I've done a lot of unhauling over the past couple of years, and sadly, or not sadly, depending on how you look at it, most of the books that I have now are books that I actually do want to read. I also like to give every book a chance, and I find it really hard to judge whether I'm going to like a book based on reading the first chapter. I haven't done one of these before, like with the Mind to Unhauling things, but I'm feeling kind of nervous about saying that I'm going to unhaul a book based on what I think about the first chapter. Now, the only times I've ever really DNF'd a book based on the first chapter is Call Me By Your Name by, is it Andre Aciman? And that is because that writing style was just really not for me. There may be a couple like this in here, and then I will know for sure that I can unhaul them. So what is going to happen is that I'm going to show you the 5 books that I'm going to be sampling today. Throughout the day I will read the first chapter and I will bring you a vlog update of what I thought about that first chapter, and at the end we will come together and decide if I'm going to unhaul any of these books. So the first one we have today I think is the only one that I did include in that These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video, and that is the DUFF by Codie Keplinger. The DUFF stands for The Dumb Ugly Fat Friend, and this is a high school young adult contemporary about a group of girls, and I believe that it's based on the idea that in every friendship group there is a designated ugly fat friend. I'm assuming that our main character is that ugly fat friend. The nature of this book seems problematic to start off with, but somebody in my comments did say that it does challenge some of these stereotypes and it is not as surface level as it appears from the title. I don't love young adult contemporaries, and I have tons on here that I could have done this challenge with. The problem is that I really do like to read them as palate cleansers, especially in summer. They are really fast reads and I don't want to write them off just because they're a genre that I don't absolutely love, because I can't read epic fantasy all the time. Like, it hurts my brain, and books like this, especially in summer, are just really great to refresh me. The second one I bought because I think it's young adult and there is a movie based on this. However, I have heard that the movie is better than the book, and that is Nerve by Gian Ryan. I think this is a virtual reality sci-fi about a group of teenagers that start to play a game. I think the game is Truth or Dare, or just dares, and the dares get more and more dangerous, and do the characters have the nerve to follow through? So I'm really interested in the premise of this, but I haven't read it yet because I have heard some not great things. So we'll see what I think about the first chapter of this. Once again, this is probably going to be one that I would fly through if I read it, which will make me nervous to unhaul it, because if a book is only going to take me a day to read, then I'm not too worried about unhauling it right now. The problem is that I'm just not picking these books up, so I'm not reading through them as quickly as I say I can, because they're not making it onto my TBRs. This is one of the ones that I was probably most nervous to put in this list, and that is The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan. I believe that this is a young adult dystopian, and to be honest, the synopsis sounds really good. I just really haven't heard anybody talk about this, and I'm much more likely to lean towards books that I've heard people talking about, and I kind of want to give my opinion on those books that are current and relevant, or books in series that I have already started to read. So that is why I haven't read this yet. I hope that I don't unhaul this, because it really has been intriguing me for some time, but it is a contender. This is one that I don't really know why I have actually. I've had it for quite some time. I've never watched the TV show and I don't think the book is going to be really my thing, but that is The 100 by Cass Morgan. This is a superhero story. That is pretty much all I know because like I said, I haven't watched the show, and the reason I bought this is because of the show. There are some sequels to this. They're all pretty short. I do like science fiction, but I don't like superheroes. But I think in this modern day teenage superhero setting, there is a lot more room for moral ambiguity than there is in traditional superhero stories, though I don't know. And then the last one that I have is probably the one that I'm most likely to unhaul, and that is What I Was by Meg Rosoff. Now, I do not have any idea what this is about. I could read the back, but whatever. This is by the same author as How I Live Now, which is a dystopian, but a very realistic dystopian, about what would happen if an invading army came to Britain and started to terrorise the country. Now that book I gave 4 stars, but I did not like it at all, and the reason that I didn't like it is because it was too close to the bone. So I really don't know what to think about this author. I think How I Live Now is her most popular book. I had a really bad experience with that because of the subject matter. Obviously the subject matter of this is going to be different, and I rated that book 4 stars because I don't think objectively that it was a bad book. Just for me, it made me really uncomfortable reading it, and I unhauled it after I'd read it because I just wasn't comfortable seeing it on my shelves because of how terrifying that notion is to me. So this could really go either way, but because of the bad experience I had with How I Live Now, I don't have any desire to pick this up. So reading the first chapter of this will either make me feel better about reading it or just tell me that it needs to go. So those are the 5 books I'm going to be sampling today. If that goes well, I may continue to do these in the future, maybe 1 a month as I cull some of the things on my shelves. We'll see how it goes, but I do think that throughout at least June, I'm going to try and focus my Bookopoly TBR on reading to unhaul. So these kinds of books where I kind of want to read them, but I don't think that they're going to leave a lasting impression on me, and then just like my buddy reads and things that I have to keep up with. So that's all we got for the introduction of this, and I will check in with you when I've read the first chapter of one of these books. Okay, so I have read the first chapter of the first book, which is What I Was by Meg Rosoff. And I'm kind of surprised, you guys. So the writing style for this is nothing particularly exciting. But I did read the back before I started, and it says, "Shall I tell you about the year I discovered love?" And it goes on about boarding schools and being kicked out of them, going to a new one. But then it says, "Without St. Oswald's, I would not have met the boy with the beautiful eyes, the flickering half smile and no past." So I thought this was going to be like a contemporary romance, maybe with a little bit of a sad aspect because it's Meg Rosoff. But this book was published in, oh, it was only published in 2007 actually, so it's more recent than I thought it was. But it's also set in 1962. Now, as soon as I started reading the first chapter, the main character is talking about how something that happens is what they imagine people say to their sons or has been said to their sons for generations. And I was like, hold on a sec. So then I carry on just a little bit further on, and the main character of this is a boy, so I think that this is a queer romance story, which I was not expecting. So that definitely makes me more intrigued. However, there was nothing in the first chapter that was particularly compelling. I feel like this is going to be kind of like How I Live Now with the writing style. Makes sense, same author. A little bit like Call Me By Your Name, so like a romance that takes place over a small amount of time and then something happens and it ends. And I'm not sure that the 1962 boarding school setting is going to do it for me. This is also, like I said, I feel like it's going to take place over a short amount of time, and it's going to be like a slice of life, like over this 2-month period this thing happened to me. And I like adventure arcs. I like the plots to have like a beginning and then something happens and something needs to happen to return to equilibrium. Like I like classic plot structures, and a slice of life, this is this section of my life and when this thing happened. It's not my particular taste in stories. However, this is only 200 pages, so if I did decide to keep it, it wouldn't take me that long to read. And I don't know what I'm doing about this one yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read all of these. I'll let you know what I thought of the first chapters as I'm going through, and then I will only decide maybe what I'm unhauling when I come back for a summary. It kind of really depends how I feel after the first chapter, but I'm really undecided on this now, especially as I found out that it's very possibly queer. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be unhauling The 100 by Cass Morgan. Like I said, I don't know anything about The 100 because I haven't seen the show, but it seems that there are teenagers in a delinquent centre for whatever reason that they've been imprisoned. Our main character of the first chapter, it seems to be multi-perspective, is called Clark, and she is woken up by a guard who tells her that a doctor is coming and she thinks that he's coming to kill her. However, he puts a tracking bracelet on her wrist and says that he is sending her to Earth with 100 other people from the detention centre. Now, from the blurb of this, I know that there has been a nuclear war and Earth doesn't exist anymore, really. It's like a wasteland and everybody lives in space. So I love sci-fi, so I'm actually really intrigued by this. The writing style was kind of like standard dystopian type writing style, pretty basic but keeps the pace moving. So I'm actually intrigued to carry on with this one. So I don't think I'll be unhauling this. Also just discovered like it's a really floppy paperback, which wouldn't be a reason that I kept it, but it's nice. I like a floppy paperback, sadly. Or not sadly, depending how we look at things. Don't think I'm going to be unhauling this one. So book number 3 is The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan. So I'm pretty sure I've made this mistake before, but I always assumed when I bought this that it was a dystopian story. But I remember now, as soon as I like read the blurb, I remembered that I'd seen somebody's review that said that this is a zombie story. Now, this seems to follow a girl called Mary who lives in a village that is surrounded by a fence, and beyond the fence is the Forest of Hands and Teeth. This is somewhere in a zombie apocalypse and they have created this village, which is a place where people can live, but outside the fences there are zombies. So it seems that her father went missing on a patrol a few weeks ago. He is almost definitely dead, but her mother believes that he could still be alive, so she stands by the fences every day waiting for him. One day Mary is not there to escort her mother to the fence, and her mother seems to have tried to breach the fence because she's seen her husband, who is a zombie, and she's been scratched or bitten or whatever. My thoughts on the first chapter of this is that I don't really like the writing style. It was only 10 pages, but I kept getting distracted and just wasn't absorbed by the writing style. However, I have never read a zombie story before, so that really intrigues me, and I think I would like that aspect. I mean, I like zombie TV shows, so a zombie book sounds good. I don't like this that I've decided to do. I don't like judging things by the first chapter, because this could start off weak. This could be Carrie Ryan's debut novel, and the rest of the series could be great. The plot twist at the end could be great, and I would not know, judging off one chapter. So I'm not sure about this one either. I don't know. I don't know. So I'll carry on and we'll see if I've made a decision by the time we get to the summary. Okay, so I just read chapter 1 of Nerve by Gian Ryan, and my thoughts are kind of similar to The Forest of Hands and Teeth. I don't love the writing style, but the premise still sounds really cool. So I read the prologue, and the prologue seems to be one of those that's set like later on in the story. So like when you finish the book, if you come back to the prologue, you'll know whereabouts in the story it fits. But our main character, I am imagining that it's the one that's played by Emma Roberts in the TV show. That is her name, isn't it? Yeah, Emma Roberts. And it seems that this game of dares has been going on for quite a while. She's been playing for a while with other people. She has quite a fan base of watchers who are obsessed with watching the dares play out, and she has faked an illness to stay home for a week. Finally, outside of her house clears and she can make it out without being followed, and she heads up into the woods for some reason. Seems like a classic rookie horror movie era to me, but she heads up into the woods and somebody is stalking her. He finds her. It's really fucking creepy, actually. He is pulling something out of his pocket. She doesn't know if it's a gun or a camera, and it's a camera. He takes a picture and then he reaches into his other pocket and the prologue cuts off. So that was really intriguing to me. I was into that, like the premise. The writing was just, it was kind of bland again. There was nothing offensive about the writing. It just wasn't hooked when I was reading it. So once again, we have another one that I'm not sure about. I am going to go and make some food now before I sample the last one, The Duff by Codie Keplinger. So I'm gonna go make something to eat, read the first chapter of that, and then come back and wrap this up for you, and we will see if I'm unhauling anything, what I'm unhauling, and what's going on. Okay, so I just finished the first chapter of The Duff by Codie Keplinger, and I think I would say that this is one of the ones that I would definitely unhaul. So in the first chapter, a boy comes up to our main character. She's at a party with her 2 hot friends and she tells him to go away, and he says he's talking to her because apparently scientists have said that if you talk to the designated ugly fat friend in a friend group, then the hot ones will think that you're more attractive. So he like flat out says that to her face. And our main character is one of those contemporary main characters that is really self-assured and aggressive. Is it aggressive? Like, she's very forward and like kind of not really a realistic teenager. Like, she'll just tell people to fuck off. So I wasn't keen on the characterizations in this. Also, in the first chapter, she then throws coke over him. She takes her friends out to the car and says that she has to leave because she had an argument with him. And when they ask what about, she doesn't tell them, and I'm like, that's just like a basic communication issue. Definitely 100%, if somebody had called me the designated ugly fat friend, I would have told my friends like right there and then, and they would have kicked the shit out of him. I'm not a fan of this one. However, I'm not necessarily going to be unhauling it because what we've learned from this video is that I'm definitely keeping this one. I want to give this one a try. So that one's like out. This one I don't really want to read, but These 3 I'm really unsure about. This one I kind of want to read it because it's queer, but I don't think I'll like it. This one I want to read a zombie book because I don't have any, but the writing style was a bit off. This one was just okay. I really like the premise, but the writing style I could leave or take. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open this up to you guys. We have 4 books here. I'm going to unhaul 2 and I'm going to keep 2. And I'm gonna let you guys decide. So I will put a poll up here, and the 2 books with the most amount of votes I will keep. So you are voting for the book that you want me to keep. You can only vote for one because I'm only putting 1 poll up. If you want to share more elaborate thoughts, then please leave them in the comments. But I will keep the 2 of these that have the most votes on them, and the other 2 I will unhaul. This video has proven to be not as successful as I wanted it to be because I'm an indecisive person. I did my morality test not long ago and I'm literally a true neutral. I want to read every book regardless of if I like it or not, and that may be a real problem, but I'm one of those what if people. So what if I end up really liking this book by the time I get to the end? So yeah, indecision. I may do another one of these in the future. I don't know. Let me know. I could try and do maybe genre-based ones where I read like 4 contemporaries or 5 contemporaries and then have to unhaul some. We could do it as a try chapter like we've just done, and then any I'm unsure about, you guys can decide. But I think what I'm going to do, because I still need to unhaul some books, I have been looking at houses recently. I've been looking at buying a house because I nearly have enough deposit money. So if I bought a house, I would have more room for bookshelves and we wouldn't need to do this. But at the minute, I need to unhaul some books or make some more space somewhere. I could clear some stuff out and make more space for the books. I need to figure out what I want to do. But I think going into June, I'm going to either try and read to unhaul, so fit books that I think I might not love and then unhaul afterwards into my Bookopoly TBR, or I'm going to put shorter books and buddy reads in my Bookopoly TBR and spend the rest of the month reading to unhaul and pursuing some series and things that I'm currently in the middle of, because I'm feeling a little behind on my reading in terms of series and reading new books instead of older books, even though I want to read the new books as well, because why do you buy new books if you're not going to read them straight away? So yeah, we got some things to think about. So please let me know if you have liked this video, or whether you want me to do another one. Please also don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. If you head in my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish body butter and candle website, the Instagram for that, and a 10% off discount code. That's it from me today. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.